What would you do if a single photograph, sent in the dead of night, shattered your entire world into a million irreparable pieces? My phone, glowing at 2 a.m. on the nightstand, vibrated with an incoming message. It was from my brother Mark, who was in downtown Los Angeles for a conference. The image that loaded was a grainy, zoomed-in shot of a sleek silver Mercedes-Benz, its distinctive custom license plate, MRSD, unmistakable even in the dim light of a hotel parking garage. It was Sarah's car. The caption beneath it simply read, "Dude, isn't this Sarah's car? Why is it at the Grand Hyatt on Figueroa at this hour?" My heart didn't just sink, it imploded, leaving a gaping, icy void where warmth used to be. The Grand Hyatt, a place she had no reason to be, especially not alone, especially not at 2 a.m. The mystery wasn't just about her car. It was about the life I thought I had, now hanging by a thread, about to unravel completely. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. The next morning, the world felt muted, colors drained, sounds muffled. Sarah, my wife of 10 years, woke up beside me, oblivious, or so I thought, to the seismic shift that had occurred in my universe. She hummed a little tune as she got ready for her yoga retreat in Malibu, a retreat I now knew was a lie. The humiliation was a physical weight, pressing down on my chest, making it hard to breathe. I watched her, this woman I had loved, built a life with, and suddenly she was a stranger, a villain in my own story. The image of her car, parked outside that hotel, replayed in my mind, a constant, burning accusation. Over the next few weeks, I became a ghost in my own home, observing, analyzing. Sarah's behavior, once seemingly normal, now screamed deception. Her phone, once left carelessly on the counter, was now always clutched in her hand, face down. She started taking late calls in the other room, her voice hushed, her laughter too bright, too forced. The scent of a cologne I didn't recognize occasionally clung to her clothes, a sharp metallic tang that made my stomach churn. I found a receipt for a high-end restaurant, perched on South Hill Street, a place we'd talked about going to for our anniversary, but never did. The date on the receipt was for a Tuesday night, a night she claimed to be working late at her marketing firm in Santa Monica. The slow discovery was agonizing, 1,000 tiny cuts. I started checking her phone records, a violation I never thought I'd commit. There were dozens of calls and texts to an unknown number, always late at night, always when I was asleep. I cross-referenced the number with public records. Richard Thorne, the CEO of a rival marketing firm, his office just blocks from the Grand Hyatt. Smug, arrogant Richard Thorne, whom I'd met at industry events, always with a condescending smirk. He was the affair partner. The pieces clicked into place with a sickening thud. Sarah, once my loving partner, transformed before my eyes into a cold, calculating manipulator. She'd gaslight me about my paranoia, dismiss my concerns as stress from work, and even accuse me of being too clingy. She made me feel like I was losing my mind, all while orchestrating her betrayal with chilling precision. Richard, I imagined, felt untouchable, shielded by his wealth and Sarah's cunning. There were nights I just sat in the dark, staring at the ceiling of our beautiful home in Pasadena, the one we'd bought together, filled with dreams and promises. The emotional breakdown was quiet, internal. Cried silently, not for her, but for the man I used to be, for the future I thought we had. The pain was a physical ache, a constant companion. But amidst the despair, a cold, hard resolve began to form. I wouldn't just leave. I would dismantle her world, piece by agonizing piece. My revenge began with meticulous planning. I hired a private investigator, a discreet man named Frank from a small office in Glendale, to document everything. Photos, videos, timestamps, irrefutable proof of Sarah and Richard's clandestine meetings at the Grand Hyatt. Their dinners at Perch, their weekend getaways to Palm Springs. I started backing up all our shared financial documents, emails, and text messages to an encrypted cloud drive. I consulted with a divorce attorney, a sharp, no-nonsense woman named Evelyn Reed, whose office overlooked the bustling streets of downtown LA. She laid out the legal landscape. The leverage I had, the traps I could set. I learned about California's community property laws, about spousal support, about the legal ramifications of infidelity. I wasn't just gathering proof. I was building a fortress of evidence, a legal and social guillotine. The public exposure was orchestrated with surgical precision. Sarah had always been obsessed with her image, her social media presence, her carefully curated life. I knew that hitting her where it hurt most wasn't just about money, it was about reputation. On the day of our annual charity gala, a high-profile event she co-chaired, I filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences and attaching a sealed exhibit of the evidence. The news, carefully leaked by Evelyn's team, spread like wildfire through the city's elite circles. The next day, a local gossip blog, known for its juicy exposes, published an anonymous tip, complete with blurred but recognizable photos of Sarah and Richard entering the Grand Hyatt. The comments section exploded. Her carefully constructed facade crumbled. The legal proceedings were swift and brutal. With the overwhelming evidence, Sarah had no ground to stand on. The judge, a stern woman who clearly had little patience for deceit, awarded me a significant portion of our shared assets, citing Sarah's egregious conduct. Richard, it turned out, was married with 3 children. His wife filed for divorce, and his company's board, facing a PR nightmare, forced his resignation. Sarah lost her job, her social standing, and eventually her home. Her friends, once so eager to bask in her reflected glow, vanished. She was completely ruined, a pariah in the very circles she had so desperately sought to impress. I saw her once, months later, walking alone down a desolate street in Koreatown, her once vibrant hair dull, her expensive clothes ill-fitting. She didn't see me. I drove past a phantom in her ruined life, leaving her to the quiet, haunting echoes of her choices. The silence of my new life was deafening, yet strangely peaceful. The end.